settle, settle, settle. So everything that's happening right now with, the riots in Nepal and then the typhoon in the middle of the ocean that just kind of appeared. And there's this story of this Tibetan man who had a son and a horse. I don't know if I'm going to get this completely correct. But something about the horse. Oh, yeah. The son was riding the horse, and then the horse fell, and the son broke his leg, and everyone's going, "Oh, such bad, so inauspicious, such bad luck, blah, 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 blah." And then there was a war, and then the son couldn't go to the war because he had broken his leg. So it's kind of like that. I'm kind of feeling right now, like we so desperately tried to get on Singapore Airlines and couldn't get on them. And so now we are going through Qatar. But a few months ago, Qatar was looking like it was in a dangerous place to go. So it just seems to be that it all changes. It's just a really good example of impermanence. So and that was impermanence was actually the thing that Kadrila asked everybody to think about after Lama Zopa Rinpoche had passed into parinirvana. So just sitting with your feet flat on the floor, your hips in your chair, your hands in your lap, aligning your spine. Imagine you have this beautiful long spine with a string of pearls of light, and then go to the crown of the head and just release any tension there. And relax your face and allow your shoulders to drop. And relax your body. And then notice the sensations of the breath as you inhale and exhale. And just be aware of any sounds in your environment, just allowing the sounds to be there. And then, bring to mind what's in your mind this evening. Some of you are in different time zones. So it could be the day, it could be in the middle of the day or early in the morning. So just check in with yourself. How are you right now? And then just try and be objective about what's in the mind. Just put some space in between your thoughts. And then bring to mind a friend, the enemies, the strangers. Just being aware that these relationships are interchangeable. They're always changing. And they're all equal. All these people, they're the same as you and me. They don't want to suffer. They want to be happy, and they have this extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind. So we think we'll do this practice this evening for all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. So we think there is no negativity that can't be purified, and this purification process is basically a psychological one. And we create negativity with the mind, so equally we can change it by creating positivity instead. And we start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives, and think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma, and we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. We cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we will experience. We know from, our present suffering, we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So we think, I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, well, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. So we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has these methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing Buddha Vajrasattva to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head, and you can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. Excuse me. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has a beautiful, radiant face, and his eyes, they're long, they're shaped like lotus petals. And they're peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up on a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell, representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two. And this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you and have compassion for them, because the harm they've caused you is going to result in suffering for them sometime in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And then we come to the power of remedy. And this is where we take the medicine, do the practice using visualization and mantra. And we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboal situkaya meboal sipokaya meboal Anarakta meboal sawasidi mimbiyata sawa kamasita me Sitam shriyam kuru hom ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sakva a hom pe Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboal, situkaya meboal, sipokaya meboal, Anarakta me boa sawasidi me be yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya seta a hum pe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita Jida meboa, Situkai meboa, Sipokai meboa, Anorakta meboa, Sawasidi mepiyata sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriyam Guru hum ha ha ho bhagawan, Sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya seta a hum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya, Vajrasapa dina patita, Jida meboa, Situkai meboa, Sipokai meboa, Anorakta meboa, Sabasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriyam Guru hum ha ha ho bhagawan, Sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sekta a hum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya, Vajrasapa dina patita, Jida meboa, Situkai meboa, Sipokai meboa, Anorakta meboa, Sabasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriyam Guru hum ha ha ho bhagawan, Sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya seta a hum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya, Vajrasapa dina patita, Jida meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anorakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriyam Guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, Sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya seta a hum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya, Vajrasapa dina patita, Jida meboa, Sitokaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anorakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriyam Guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, Sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya seta a hum pe. So be delighted that all harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about people behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya, Vajrasapa dina patita, Jida meboa, Sitokaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anorakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriyam Guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, Sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sekta a hum pe. Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya, Vajrasapa dina patita, Jida meboa, Sitokaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anorakta meboa, Sawasidi mempe yata sa kama sit excuse me, Sitam Shriyam Guru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan, Sawa tata Vajramame Mutsa Vajra Bawa Mahasamaya Seta hum pe. Excuse me, keep going everyone. We have a skunk in our yard and it's irritating me. I will put myself on mute. Just keep reciting. Unmute myself. All right, I'm so sorry for that. Let's just now imagine you're so happy your speech is now completely purified and it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. And next, our mind, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So you imagine you've gone into a room and you flick on that's dark, and you flick on the switch, and the light that comes instantly dispels that darkness. So it's the same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all your attachment and neediness and bitterness and grudges and jealousy and anger, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra again. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mebi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kur Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mutta Vajra Bawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajra Bawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajra Bawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajra Bawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajra Bawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajra Bawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajra Bawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified, and think there is no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness. So the nectar flows down, pushing out all the negativity of the body, and the nectar flows up, pushing out all the negativity of the speech, and then the light comes and completely blasts all the delusions. And this is happening all at the same time, as well as the same time you're reciting the mantra. So this way, you're eradicating even these very, very subtle imprints. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimbi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajra Bawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta me boa sawa siddhi me biyata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajra me mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sakva a hum pe. Vajra safa samaya manupalaya vajra safa dina patita. Jida me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa. Anurakta me boa sawa siddhi me biyata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Dina meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anurakta meboa sawasidi mepiyata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anurakta meboa sabasidi mebiyata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anurakta meboa sabasidi mebiyata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anurakta meboa sabasidi mebiyata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. So now feel you're completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And then we come to the power of resolve, the fourth and final step in the purification process. And, we just decide here. We just decide. And this determination, not to harm with our body and our speech and our mind kind of gives us some strength to change all of these habits that we have. Habits of thinking, habits of speaking, habits of doing. So rejoice in your efforts, making time to come here, like Jerry's in her car. Gabe used to also be in her car. Those of you in Australia, taking a lunch hour. And then think of something you'd like to work on between now and tomorrow. And imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche would recommend to meditate on emptiness. So he would say, in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty, that do not exist from their own side. And you can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created doing this practice to all living beings and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So let's just do our chanting the names of Manjushri. With universal vision, true delight, with fire garlands, handsome to behold, the endless knot, most radiant great luster, with shining rays in hand providing light. The best and foremost of all great physicians, unequaled in removing thorns of pain, a tree providing medicine for all, a foe opposing every malady. The lovely crowning jewel of all three worlds, a cluster of the stars most glorious, the end of space in all its 10 directions, the hoisting high of Dharma's victory flag. All right, everybody, let's have a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long and for the swift, return of our precious Lama Zopa Rinpoche. Return back to our organization. And then for all of your own individual teachers. And have a lovely evening. Thank you so much, Lou and Shayla and Bill, for hosting. And then I will see some of you tomorrow morning. All right. Thanks, everybody. Lots of love. Bye-bye.